Hi everyone, I'm jumping in for a really quick impromptu little bit of colouring session here. I hope that my orientation is around the right way because my phone is bringing up little notification things and they're in a different thing, so I don't know, I don't understand. Anyway, hopefully I'm around the right way and somebody will tell me if I'm not around the right way, I'm sure. So I am jumping in super quickly. My name is Elisa Tilsner and I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. And I do classes by mail twice a month. So I'm taking December off, but I am prepping for January's class. I'm good, excellent. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for letting me know, because every time I come on to do a Facebook Live, it's always different. And hello if you're watching on the YouTube replay as well, if you're watching Facebook replay. So I'm prepping, getting ready for my January classes, and I have got my first one picked out, which will go live on the 1st of January. I know it's a bit of a rough time, 1st of January, but I'm every 1st and every 15th of the month I go live. So I go live. I have a class. Gosh, I can't even think today. So the class that I am basing around is called Blessings of Home, and you will get the stamp set and the die set and a quarter pack of the designer series paper and some embellishments. I do have 3 options. When the time comes, you can go and check out the options. So if you do already have this bundle, you can still join in my class. And if you're overseas and you want to join in, I do have the PDF. And I'm going to try and do imperial and metric measurements on my PDFs. Can't guarantee that my inches will work properly, but I will give it a shot. So hi everyone, hi Beryl, Merry Christmas to you as well. So today I thought, because I am going to be doing colouring in my class, some people can be a little bit like, ooh, colouring, no, I don't want to do colouring, but I promise you it is super easy, and I'm going to show you how super easy it is. Morning, Kim. So I am going to colour in this one here, and I'm also going to colour in this one as well. I'm not sure how long we're going to take. Honestly, the way that I'm colouring in today, it doesn't actually take very long. I did a really quick sped up time-lapsed one for Instagram yesterday, I think it was, and you know, it ended up being 20 seconds. I'm not going to say it's going to be 20 seconds worth of colouring. It might be about 5 minutes, but you know, I wish I could colour in 20 seconds. But we're going to colour in these 2 so that you can, if you are going to join my class next month, then you can go in confidently and not worry too much. So let me swing around. I'm going to put my hand over the video camera and swing around and then get sorted up and get started again. So just pop my hand over because I don't want to make you dizzy. Right, now swing around. Oh dear. Now that's made me crooked, hasn't it? That's made me, oh, why does it do that? Man, that's not fair. Goodness me. I'm just going to find myself on my iPad as well, so that now I can watch comments and stuff. Okay, so it is right. Oh, goodness me. Don't do palm reading. No, and then when I put my palm over it, I was like, oh gee, I hope my palms are actually clean. So I just did the dishes, so they should be nice and clean. Okay, so that's showing dodgy on my phone, but it's coming up okay on my iPad. So that's good. Okay, let's start with the big one. And I am going to just use the same colours as what I did yesterday, because it is actually one of the, actually 2 of the cards that I am creating are going to be in this colour toning, so we'll just go ahead and use that. Now, because I am going to be watercolouring, I'm using StazOn, and believe it or not, I am just using our basic white cardstock. Okay, I'm not using shimmery, I'm not using watercolour paper, I am just using our plain old, look at all my mess here from making my cards. So I am just using plain old basic white. Can you believe it? And it is super quick. Now I'm just going to get myself set up with cleaning because I am using StazOn, and it does stay on, obviously. I'm bringing out my old scrubber here. and I'm just going to prep that ready. I think I've probably got more water than detergent in my Stampin' Mist there, but I'm just going to get that ready, because if you clean your rubber stamps as soon as you have stamped them, you can actually get most of the StazOn off, because I've used quite a bit of StazOn on this stamp already. So let's give it a good inking up. Tap, 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 tap. All right. Get that down. I want to give myself a little bit of space so that I can cut it out with the die. I've noticed that the dies have got a little bit of an extra white space around these images rather than hug them. Like normally the dies will hug the stamp outline, but these ones have got a little bit of a space, so I just want to leave a little bit more of a white space. Now, and if you scrub straight away, normally I would just go, oh, I'll clean them later, but because I am using StazOn, I am going to do this. I don't, Gillian, I don't actually, how do you make these rubber stamps stick to the acrylic block? I don't use the stickers. I have never used the stickers. When we first come out with those new stickers, I had the same problem, so I have gone back to just not using the stickers. So when I'm cutting most of the things that I will do, I'm going to cut this out, so it doesn't matter if I accidentally stamped this upside down or anything. So, but yeah, I don't use stickers. Okay, you need a water pen, aqua painter, anything that's, you know, got you a water barrel. And the colours that I am using are cinnamon cider, pale papaya, and garden green. Okay, so they are the colours that will match my designer series paper. I'm just going to see if I can zoom in a little bit with my wonky camera. I don't know where I am. Okay, all good. I'm just going to position myself. If I try and look in my top camera, it's completely different to when I look in my bottom camera. Rightio, let's get started. So I'm going to, if I can, open them up. Now I have had a dot of re-inker in here, but you can still squeeze these ink pads and you can get ink transferred. Okay, so we're going to do this because I'm going to assume that if you're doing the class, you may or may not have the re-inker. Christina, I am actually using just plain basic white cardstock. Okay, just plain basic white cardstock. Now, I do like to keep my brush reasonably dry, so if you, I don't know whether you'll be able to see that, but if I paint on my hand, I can see a glisten of water that dries pretty quickly. So you probably can't see that, but you can, oh, I can see it a little bit in the replay. So just a tiny little bit, so it's not flooding out, it's not super dry or anything like that. Now, when I'm using my palette, I'm going to grab a little bit of the ink and I'm going to drag it away from the rest of that palette. And I'm going to just wet it down, water it down a little bit. I'm not squeezing any water into it. I don't want it wet because I am only using basic white. And then I'm going to start at this one and I'm just going to push that. I'm not taking my painter off the paper. I'm just spreading that colour around. And that is how quick and easy it is. Okay, so nib down and just spread it around. So don't take your pen off. And it's super quick. And I do, like, I'm not going to go over this whole area because there's like 5 flowers here or something. I will do 1 flower at a time, but I will keep my aqua painter on the flower the entire time. Okay. And I don't particularly care if it's neat or messy or if there's white spaces, because that's the type of look I'm going for this particular style of colouring that I'm doing. Oh, 1 more flower, I missed one. So So even if I want to get back around to that other petal, I just keep my aqua painter on the paper the entire time and just scoop back around. So I haven't actually lifted my pen off. Now if you want to go in for a second time, give your ink pad another bit of a squeeze, and you can start again. Now if you do have the re-inkers, drop a little bit of re-inker in it, but go very gently. So for my second running, because this one's a bit light, I am going to lift off because I need to pick up, and I'm just going to follow those little shaded areas. And again, I'm not being overly fussed because I actually do like this messy style of colouring sometimes, because, you know, not everything needs to be super detailed. So you can zoom around super quick. And not be too fussed at all, because the colours will settle down into the paper and do its own thing. Because when it's dry, it looks completely different. Okay. I think that's the last, oh, and these little ones I keep forgetting. There we go. So that's the first colour done, super simple. What do you think so far? I think I've lost my comments, I'm not sure. So that's the first colour, done and dusted. Next I'm going to come in with my cinnamon, and you're probably like, what? Cinnamon's a brown, but I think it looks really good. So I used the ink from the pad, so this I don't actually have a re-inker for that, so that's how much I got out of it. And this will give you a better idea of what I mean when I say pull the colour out, because I definitely want this a lot lighter. So, and you can see that this is my mass, and I've already pulled colour out to go here. Now I can do this entire flower in pretty much 1 or 2 goes, okay? So because I want it light, and I sort of want a lighter white, like more white in this flower than what I do colour. So it sort of just like gives like a sepia tone type of thing. So what I'm going to do is just follow the black sketching lines in the petals and leave it at that. So I might just add a tiny little bit, like I just squeezed ever so slightly, not enough to get a whole drip out, but just enough to make my brush a tiny bit wetter. So you can see that I've got a little bit of like fluid going on. And then I'm just going to start, and seriously, I'm just throwing this colour down. I don't even care. I'm just going to follow that black. Gets a little bit lighter as I go around, and that's that. So I've done that without even re-dipping my brush in, and I don't care whether I've got harsh lines or not, because that's the style that I'm going for with this particular flower. So coming around to the other, I don't even know what sort of flower it is. Is it a daisy? I don't know. So just coming around, still in this watery area, and I'm going to do the same thing. So wherever the artist's shading is, I'm just going to, I think that one's a leaf there, so I missed that one. I'm just going to throw in, I may need to, for this one I need to dip in, but that's it. Now if you do have a little bit of harsh line that you don't like, just wipe your brush off and just come in and you know, fluff it a little bit. Just water it down. But I don't mind that type of line. And that's it for, oh no, it's not it. Now the centers, I forgot about the centers. I don't want them as light, so coming over to my palette, I'm going to drag a little bit more of the darker, and I want a slightly darker, so you can see that this is really light, and, you know, I've almost used it all, but I'm going to come in and just make it a little bit darker for my second palette, and I'm just going to pop that on to the center of my flower. I'm going to start over here because that's where I want the bulk of my color, and then just drag everything out. So using that same little area there, I'm going to do the center of this flower here. Now I do want it a little bit darker, so I'm actually going to come into where I've got some really concentrated color, and I'm just going to dab my color. So I'm pouncing the color over here and around here as well. And that is that. Now I will come back and do, actually I'll do them now. I'll do my little centers of my flowers. And again, I'm just pouncing dark colour. Because I don't mind if there's a little bit of white space. I mean, this look might not be like what you have in mind for flowers, but I think when you sort of get a style of, oh, it's hard to explain. I think it suits the paper having a bit more of a looser colouring, if you understand what I mean. Okay, so the last colour is Garden Green, and I do believe that I have got plenty of colour from my lid with this one as well. So again, and I've probably, just make sure you got all your brown off your nib there. So again, we want light, so drag some colour out. I'm working back to front on this one. Drag some colour out. You may need to just give it a squeeze ever so slightly. If you find that your nib's starting to split, just give it a squeeze really, really, really lightly. And then we just throw the colour down. Again, I'm not lifting my brush up, so the whole leaf gets done in the one go, especially these big guys. And again, if there's white space, that's fine. Now don't forget this guy at the back here, because I always do. And then I have to come back in and colour him again. Okay, so that's the first run, and then the second run we're going to come back into this darker, more concentrated area, and again we're just going to go where the artist has already put in some shading, and you can even like flick in this area, and these little ones are that easy. You just add a little bit of colour. So you'll notice that my brush is getting a little bit dry, so I have to keep picking up. So I don't know whether I should have timed myself to see how long this one would take. And that's it. There is my image. Whoops, I'm frozen. Oh no, I'm good. So there's my image done. So I've got one that's dry, so I'll show you that one. I'll have to make a fourth card. So this one, so that one is dried. So there's a tiny, tiny little difference between the two. Not a huge amount. But when you add them with colour, I'll give you a sneak peek when you add them with your card. So this is actually one of the cards from the class that I'll be running in January. So, you know, you can see that it matches the designer series paper quite well, the style of colouring. So there's your sneak peek. Okay, so now let's do the next one. I should have timed myself. What was that? Is that about 10 minutes to colour in that one? All done. All right, so let's do the next bouquet, which is this one here. It's a smaller one. And I actually, this will be, let's see what block I need. I don't actually, whoops, now they're all falling over like dominoes. Okay, so let's do this one. I haven't actually watercoloured this one. I've only done this one once, and I think I did it in blends. Yeah, so I've only played with that one once. That's the one, the card that I made for that with Stampin' Blends. So this is my first, and I'm gonna pick some other colours that I'm using in my class, and because obviously I will use it in my class. I will figure out a card. I think I'd like to have some freesia, and of course the Garden Green, and don't forget to give that a clean straight away so that you can get that stays on off with your Stampin' Scrub. See, they come up so well. Okay, so I'm going to use green. I know I'm going to use green. I know that I'm going to use freesia. I'm just trying to think of the colours that are in my pack. I might even use some Misty Moonlight. We'll see how we go. Alright, let's start with the freesia. Get me into a position where you guys can see. So again, just squeezing the lid, we'll put some colour down. I should have stamped it down here so that I can get it in the screen. And it's just the same type of process. Again, I always start by dragging some colour out to make it lighter. And then I can go around. This one's even going to be super quicker. Super quicker, is that a term? Super quick. Quicker even. And then if you want, you can go in with your darker shade again. And just go over those lines. So it's pretty loose, it's not anything too drastic. Alright, and now I've got all these little ones. I forgot about them. But these don't take long. Even if you just pounce that colour, it's just... I still find that even now I'm not taking my nib off the paper. It's just going around. Oh, and I wanted to show you the other side. So even though it is just plain basic white cardstock, you know, it's a tiny little bit damp, but it's not anything major. So, like, it hasn't soaked through or anything like that, and there's no pilling. Okay, let's do the green, because I don't know what centre I want to put in that yet. So let's do our leaves. I may even just leave it white for the moment. So have a go playing on basic white, because you might find you actually like it. I mean, I know that you can get a lot more detail, you know, you can, how will I say it? If I wanted to be a lot neater in my colouring, I would probably use my fluid watercolour paper, but because I'm not overly fussed about being neat for this, it doesn't bother me. And I'm not using a lot of water, so... Okay, so that's the first round into the darker areas of my palette here, and just add that extra. Final leaves, and I'll just do a little bit. You see my brush is starting to split, so just give it a tiniest of squeeze just to pull that water down and bring it back together again. Okay, I don't know, should I do a blue? Shall I do a blue centre, or should I leave it? What should I do with it? Or should I do ooh, what if I did a cinnamon? Wait a minute. What do you think? What centre should I put in it? Should I do a blue, a midnight misty moonlight, or a cinnamon cider colour in that? I tell you, it looks better in front of me than it does on screen. Cinnamon. Cinnamon. I haven't done cinnamon in freesia before. Let's have a crack at that. So I'm going to go light to start with. And in these little guys. And then I'm going, oh, misty, oh, look, never mind. Cinnamon come out first. And then I'm just going to dab the darker colour on. And of course it does look a lot nicer in front of me than it does on the screen, which, you know, you're always going to get. Okay, so they are, now I'm going to have to come up with a colour combination that will suit that one, but I'll have to come out. I don't think I want to use this one on my cards. I've already got, I usually do in my classes, like, so I'll have three using this one and then 3 using this one. So that is how you colour these images. So if you are thinking about joining my class, please do not be afraid of colouring, because in this way they are super, super easy and super, super quick. Like, I think I've been going for 27 minutes now, and I've waffled and chatted to you to start with, and now I've coloured 2 images and I've stamped them as well. I didn't even have them pre-stamped, so, you know, in half an hour I've got both of those coloured. I probably, you know, 20 minutes at the most if you were colouring. So yeah, there you go. So class details will be out on the 1st of January for this one, and I usually have a week sign up period. 3 options will be available, and so if you are wanting to know more information about it, if you sign up for my blog newsletter over on my website, which is I wonder if I can write that in, I'm typing it in, tilsner.com. Send. If you head over there, then you can sign up for my newsletter, and then you'll know when I am announcing it, and you can register. So very, very quick. Thank you very much for joining me, and we will see you again soon. I've got 2 cards prepped and ready to go for lives, and then this week, last week, my husband got sick with a belly bug, so he's been out of action for a whole week, which means I haven't been able to get to all my lives. But I'm hoping that I don't know what the Christmas period is going to be like, but I'm hoping that we can jump in and do those cards as well. So thank you very much, and we will see you again soon. Bye.